Creating a new distillery in an old building certainly comes with its challenges, but what it allows you to do is start from scratch when it comes to putting the visitor experience first and foremost. That's certainly the case here at Holyrood Distillery in this historic building in the heart of Edinburgh.
Everything about the setup from the visitor's point of view is about flavour and knowledge, with the first stop on a distillery tour taking you to the nosing room. It's been designed to put your olfactory senses to the test, and every stage of the tour is geared towards not only educating you about the process, but to helping you identify what kind of flavours you might be drawn towards more than others. The focus on flavour shouldn't come as a surprise when you consider that Rob and Kelly Carpenter from the Scotch Malt Whisky Society's branch in Canada are co-founders of Holyrood Distillery, along with David Robertson, who brings his experience from working with Diageo, the Macallan and Rare Whisky 101.
Well, the journey's been very, very interesting. It is no small feat to pull all this together and get it up and running. It's a long, narrow building, as you might expect from its association with the original railway that was here and the rail yard that was outside the building. So we had to essentially fit all the equipment on one half of the building and stack it so that we could fit other things in underneath, which was an interesting challenge for our engineers and a whole new way of building a distillery, really.
Flexibility is also key to the production process at Holyrood in terms of the variety of different flavour styles being produced, from sweet, fruity, spicy and smoky.
So the fact that it's a small setup means that we've got daily runs. It doesn't take us as long as maybe such larger units, so we can actually play and we can do a week of flavours and actually develop that flavour over a week and see what we've got. They're also really, really tall and thin, as you would have seen. Some of the tallest stills in Scotland. I think we're second place, but we are tallest by volume. So this gives us a lot of play in how we drive the stills. We can drive it with more heat, give in a little bit of a boost, or we can slow it down and make all those alcohols work quite hard to get out of. That gives it a lot of copper contact. We have a lot of reflux happening, and that gives us that nice lighter character.
So all the way through from the grain and yeast that we're using, we can also change the parameters during our production. So the mashing, the fermentation can change as well. So we can have very long fermentations, up to 5 days. 120 hours of fermentation will give a very different spirit character compared to a short fermentation, which would only be 2 days. And into our distillation as well. The way we drive our stills, the way we run them, whether we do it very quickly and boil the spirit quickly, or whether we do it slow and gently, will give a different character. The heart of the run is very important as well. So when we're doing our distillation run, we take heart cut, which then goes on to become spirit at the end. And in our distillery, it's usually very small, only around 15% of the entire spirit goes into the heart. We can vary how we take the cut points, whether we want something fruity or something more oily and more robust, depending on the different cut points that we take. We can also do triple distillation as well, which will give more purified and concentrated and quite a sweet character spirit.
That flexibility is apparent in Holyrood's custom cask programme, which allows customers to tailor their whisky flavour to their individual tastes.
For this programme, it's all about creating, capturing and concentrating the flavour that you want in your spirit before we make the choice in the cask to mature the spirit in. So the critical thing is the raw material choices. What do we want to use for our malted barleys, our yeasts, etc. So talking about malted barley, we can use distiller's malt, we can use peated malts for a smoky character, or we can draw inspiration from the craft brewing industry and use specialty malts that might have been roasted, toasted, heated a different way, and each of these choices can influence the flavour in your spirit.
All of that flexibility and focus on different flavours means that we shouldn't expect a standard profile from Holyrood in the future. As Rob Carpenter explains, there should be a variety of styles.
Well, we're producing different flavor styles, so we're producing things that we want to eventually put into bottle as a sort of a fruity style or a sweet style or a smoky style, etc. We're not what someone might call a typical lowland distillery with a light fruity style. So we're doing all kinds of things, and that also allows us to combine those flavors in different ways and create a very complex spirit. We're pretty happy with how things are maturing in the warehouse right now. We're almost multiple distilleries in one, whereas most distilleries only produce one style, and they release them different age statements. We will do some of that, but we will produce different flavor styles, so a completely different approach.
And a different approach is always worth celebrating.